Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Crystal and I make vlogs pretty much about anything that's going on in my life. Basically, I'm just using YouTube as my own personal journal. I was 24 weeks pregnant whenever I ran my first race, being pregnant, and it was the Koala Wellness Health, and it was the 10K. And if you've watched my previous video that I did on running, I ran my first half marathon and I did it with only 2 weeks of training, which is kind of crazy, but I was already active. I was already cross training and doing kind of CrossFit stylish workouts. If there was like a running portion I needed to do in the workout, then I would do it, but they weren't more than like running 400s, which is about a quarter of a mile. So anyways, so that was that video, and I'll link that down below if you wanted to see me run my first half marathon with only 2 weeks of training. Now for this 10K while pregnant, completely different story. I did train for this because, just a disclaimer, always consult with your doctor if you're currently pregnant and you want to do something different, something active, especially if you weren't active before your pregnancy and you haven't been active throughout your pregnancy. It's best to consult with your doctor just to make sure that everything is okay and that your body is well equipped for it and it won't hurt the baby. In my case, I was very active before my pregnancy and I currently am still active during my pregnancy. I probably work out around 4 to 5 times a week. And in this case, I've been doing more running than I am lifting just because I feel more comfortable running. Lots of reasons behind that. If you want to know, just comment down below and I can always make a video on that. But I actually may be making a video sometime soon here of my lifting because I am still incorporating that. But just, I was doing a lot more running in the beginning. Anyways, long story short, I did consult with my doctor and she said it was perfectly fine for me to run a 10K at 24 weeks pregnant, and I even asked her if I could run a 5K at 28 weeks pregnant, which is currently for me in about 2 weeks from now, on Thanksgiving morning. But maybe running a 5K, we'll see. But anyway, so she said it's totally fine, like you've been working out and everything seems to be good with the baby, so go ahead and run the 10K. So 2 thumbs up for that. I was super excited, I was really nervous. I even had my neighbor, Mindy, she made my shirt for me. And I'll show that in the next clip here. Thought it was just the cutest thing ever. I was super excited about it. So on race day, I could not sleep at all because I was nervous I wasn't gonna wake up for it. Reason being is I was gonna run this 10K alone. I didn't know anyone that was running a 10K. I have a friend that was running a half marathon, but she was not running the 10K. So I was running it by myself. And it's downtown. And if you know anything about me, I get really nervous about driving anywhere far or to a place that I've never driven to. So I didn't sleep at all that night. I mean, I did, but not very much. I actually tried to go to bed as early as possible because it was a 7:30 race. So I wanted to be there at 6:30 at the starting line so I could start stretching, warming up, just getting my body ready for it. Plus, I had been used to just running whenever it was hotter outside, and it was supposed to be around the 40s. And if you know anything about Texas weather, we're usually like in the 65, 70s during the fall time. So I wanted to make sure my body was warmed up for it, definitely, because especially now that I'm pregnant, I know that my muscles and my joints are really tight and they get sore super easy. So I wanted to make sure that everything was good. Okay, so anyways, race was at 7:30, wanted to get there at 6:30. So my plan was to leave, it took about 45 minutes to get down there. My plan was to leave around 5:45, which gives me 45 minutes. And if it takes me an hour to find parking, whatever, like no big deal. Because I will have 45 minutes to just start stretching, blah, blah. Anyway, so I was going to wake up, leave the house at 5:45, so I was going to wake up at 5:15. So that way I had time to eat some breakfast, and I have an hour drive there, so like my food would settle and everything would be good, and just get ready for it. But instead of waking up at 5:15, I did not wake up at 5:15. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. You guys know with pregnancy, whenever you wake up, whenever you have to pee, you're gonna do it. You can't just hold it. So I went and peed, but my mind was already racing because of this race. So I was already nervous about it. And I was nervous about not waking up in time, even though I'm such a light sleeper nowadays, especially with being pregnant. I don't know why I didn't trust myself, but anyways, so my mind was spinning, and like I said, I was nervous about running my first 10K being pregnant. So I laid in bed from 3:30 to about 5 o'clock, and I was just like, okay, this is what it is. I have had 4 hours of sleep. I'm gonna be exhausted, but it is what it is. Just got ready, blah, blah, blah. Then I had my breakfast, and I had a Kodiak protein waffle, I think I put almond butter on it with banana slices. Banana slices. And I think I tried to vlog that here, but I accidentally hit a button and I stopped recording halfway through. So it's 5:36 in the morning. Just getting ready. Gonna eat my breakfast. Gonna try to leave here in the next 10 minutes or so to start heading down to the race for my 10K. For breakfast, that was my breakfast. So then had some water, used the bathroom, and honestly, thank goodness I did. I didn't have to pee because I had already peed when I got up, finally got out of bed at like 5 o'clock. And I barely just had any water, but I was like, I'm just gonna use the bathroom just in case. Y'all, thank goodness I did. Reason being is because, so I'm driving down there, kind of like shaky actually. This is kind of weird. That was probably my body foreshadowing what was going to happen. I get downtown and there's so much traffic. And I get down there by about 6:20, so I'm even earlier than expected because obviously there's no traffic or anything on a Sunday morning, dark as heck, and it's that early. And so many cars. And if you know anything about downtown Houston, it's a bunch of, especially like in the theater district area, there's just a bunch of one-ways. So yeah, there was so much traffic and the blocks are really short. See, there's only so many cars that can fit from like the end of the street to like the light. So like if you're in that turning lane to like get in that lane to get on that side of the block, you have to wait there because you can't block the intersection. And I don't think they really took into account like how many people had registered for this race because it was a madhouse. So I'm like, okay, Crystal, calm down, no big deal. It's only 6:20. You're early anyways, not a problem. So anyways, so I'm like waiting in line and I finally get on that street and I'm like, holy cow, like why is it so like trafficy? Like why is this street still really bad too? Like it never got better. It just got worse actually. I think I waited at that light for like 5 cycles before even hitting the next street. So I'm like, okay, well now it's about 6:40. Been in my car for 20 minutes and I moved maybe less than a quarter of a mile, maybe 0.10 miles to be exact. Very minimal. Anyway, so my GPS tells me like I'm almost there. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like at least I'm in line to get into the parking garage. So at this point, my GPS says like 15 minutes. Oh no, it says like 8 minutes actually. It says like 8 minutes until we get in the parking garage. Like, okay, no big deal. Still really, it's only 6:40, not a big deal. So I'm like waiting and I finally get to it and there's cones blocking it off. There was a cycling race that was before it. It's for handicapped with the cycling and that race was already going. And my GPS didn't capture the fact that there were so many road closures. Again, because there's so many one-ways, there's only so many different ways you can go to get to this parking garage. Well, my friend that's running the half marathon, I called her and I was like, hey, were you able to make it in there? And she's like, yeah, I was. It took me like half an hour to get in, like just moved barely any amount of distance, but I couldn't, like, I finally got in. And her race starts before mine because she was running the half. So she started at 7. And I think she was able to get out of the car at like 6:45. So I'm like, okay, well, thank goodness that my race is at 7:30. I have some time to get there. No. All the ways my GPS told me to take to get to the parking garage all had road closures. So I'm at this light and I look over this cop that's in front of this road closure that I was supposed to turn on. I was like, hey, do you know how I can get to this parking garage? And he was like,
actually, you can't get to this parking garage from this direction unless you hop back onto the highway, get out of all these one-ways, come from a different direction to get to this parking garage. And I'm
like, are you kidding me? I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know my way around here with these parking garages. Do you know where else I can park? And he goes,
oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, great. Okay, where can I park? And he was like,
I don't know their parking garage.
Okay, how do I get to it? like, help me out here, bro. Like, I don't know, like, what I'm, like, I don't know where to, whatever. And he was like,
oh yeah, he was like, yeah, they're everywhere. Like, you'll hit one when you go down the street.
not entirely true, buddy, because it's like 6:30 in the morning, so I can't just park at any parking garage. So not all parking garages are even open. So calling my husband frantic, and he's already on the way to come see me race. And at this point, it's about 7:10. I have 20 minutes to make it to the starting line, and I don't even know how to get to the starting line. Because Crystal fashion, I was thinking, oh, no big deal. Like, I'll just follow the crowds to the starting line. Like, I don't have to know like exactly where it is. Like, I know the general area, but again, with all these one ways, like, I just don't know like how to get there, and I've never ran this race before. But you know, you can always see all like the people walking towards one direction that have obviously their bibs on and they're racing. I'll just follow them. That only works if you're on time, because whenever you're late, everyone's already at the starting line. So freaking out, calling my husband. Thank goodness he's a lot more calm than I am, and he's already on the way. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, should I just go home? Like, am I even gonna run this race? Like, did I just waste all this money and all this time, and I'm sorry that you woke up so early on a Sunday morning to not watch me race? He was like, no. He was like, just try to find something. All the street parking was taken. A lot of people actually couldn't find parking either, because they all had the windows down asking like, hey, do you know where to park? And nope. You see the look on my face of confusion? No, I don't know where to park. Anyway, so I end up making all these turns, and I end up right back where I started, and I'm just like feeling like, okay, this isn't gonna happen. It's currently now 7:15. I know, 15 minutes. So I go down another road that I hadn't gone on, and this is like the opposite direction from what my GPS is saying where some of the parking garages are. Like, race people had put on, they, I guess, had certain parking garages that we could be in that were gonna be free. So I just kind of go the opposite direction, because I tried all of them and there were road closures and where they were full, whatever it was. So I happened to just make this random turn, and I see this car go in a parking garage, and I was like, huh, well, let's see if I can get in there. I don't know if he like works somewhere attached to this parking garage, but I'm just gonna see if I can get in, because I need to park and get to this race stat. So I follow him in, and luckily, like, I was able to get in, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna get fined. I don't know how much it's gonna cost for me to park here, but hey, I'm determined at this point. I have been up since 3:30 in the morning. I'm gonna freaking run this race. So follow this guy up to park, and he gets out of the car, and it's a guy that's racing. And he was like, man, this is so crazy. He was like, this is the first time that I've run this race where I haven't found parking. He was like, I've been looking for parking for 45 minutes. And I was like, gosh, like, so have I. Like, this is so crazy. And this lady that comes in right after me, she comes out of the car, and she says, like, repeats it basically the same thing. And at this point, now it's 7:20. We have 10 minutes before this race starts. So I'm just, a part of me is also really relieved, because for one, I'm not alone. 2, I found parking. And 3, great, I don't have to find crowds to find the starting line, because I can just ask them. So I look at the guy, and I was like, hey, so do you know how to get there? And he goes,
nope.
Okay. So I look at the girl, and I was like, do you know how to get there? And she's like,
I don't, but let's put it in my phone.
I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. Because honestly, like, it shows you where the starting line is on the map whenever you get your little baggie of goodies and your bib and everything in it, but it's not like a physical address. And if you know anything about me, I don't know anything about direction. I would be lost without my phone. Anyways, so she puts in her phone, and she looks at both of us, and she was like,
okay, so she said it's about a mile of a walk.
I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. And she was like,
but we have 10 minutes to get there, so we're gonna have to start running.
So my pregnant booty is like, okay, well, let's do this. So luckily, like, we're able to cut corners and like go through like lots and not having to take the exact street route, like the sidewalk route that I was saying. So we were able to cut off some time. So we got there, and I think it was, she said it ended up being about like 0.75 miles or something. So we get there before the 10 minutes, and I have about, like, I come up to the starting line, I'm like, okay, gotta start stretching, like, here we go. I'm already sweating, I'm already breathing heavy, and I have to start stretching for a 10K, which is about 6.1 miles for those of you that don't know. So I called my husband and let him know, like, hey, I'm at the starting line. This is the parking garage I parked at. You should park here. And he was like, okay, done, got it, blah, blah. So Anyway, so I started stretching, and usually if you saw my half marathon race, I like show the view of like the starting line and like how the race looks, and like it was the national anthem. We missed the national anthem. We were running up to the starting line when the national anthem was happening, because that's how late we were. So the clip that you're about to see is just like me just getting to the starting line, trying to capture as much footage as I could. And I only stretched for about 4 to 6 minutes before this race started, just because I was a little bit further back from the starting line, so I was stretching as like we were moving forward.
The finish line, as you see, is about 30 meters prior to the start line. So those of you in the back of the pack, please beware.
But my husband made it to the starting line and was able to see me start my race, and I'll show a clip of that too. Yeah, so the race was on. So basically the first mile, as you can see, like I felt really good.
1 mile down, 5.2-ish to go. We're not a little faster than I wanted to, but that's okay. We'll slow down when I need it.
Second mile, it's feeling pretty good.
2 miles in, 4 to go. So far, still feel pretty good.
During the third, not too bad. Felt like I was going a little bit too fast, but I think it's just the adrenaline.
3 miles, feeling good too. Halfway there.
It's funny because I didn't love racing in high school, but like I just love the atmosphere of running in a race now. And I don't know, and being pregnant and just like, I just loved it. And the weather was perfect. And despite everything that was happening, like I was just happy that I made it in the race.
4 miles in, 2 to go. Starting to get tired, for sure. But slowing down when I need to, stopping at every water station. 2 to go.
Mile 4, you'll see, I think I stopped taping around mile 4 or 5-ish. Reason being is because I started cramping, so I got a little nervous and I started walking just to be sure, because I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna listen to my body during the race. And I'm like, okay, well I don't know what kind of cramp this is. I can't tell if it's just like a running cramp, because I get running cramps all the time. Like, well I did before I got pregnant. So I was thinking, oh, it must be like a running cramp or something. So I would walk and the cramp would go away and I'd start running again. And then after a while it would come back. And by like the third time I was like, oh my gosh, like this doesn't feel so good. I really need to walk. Because obviously I'm worried more about the health of my baby than this race, naturally. So I just started walking. And then a part of me is like, huh, I'm not thirsty. I've had water at every single station. Am I hungry? I don't think I'm hungry. I mean, I had like a full breakfast, and usually after a breakfast, I mean, I ran a half marathon, I was fine. But hello, I'm pregnant. So I had a handy dandy pink fanny pack, and I had Swedish fish in there, and I totally forgot that I packed it. Pregnancy brain is so real. I had so much stuff in there that I forgot existed. So I had a Swedish fish. Literally, you guys, y'all, literally, maybe 6 seconds later, I was fine. And I ran the rest of the race. I was just running out of calories. That's all it was. So like every half mile, I would just eat another Swedish fish. So in total, I probably walked about 4 or 5 times, which I'm not ashamed of at all. Not even a little bit. For 1, I'm pregnant. For 2, it's a 6.1 mile race. 3rd, like who cares? Like the thought of, like the idea of running races like these is just an accomplishment in its own. I was excited that I was still active. Like I'm so lucky that I've been able to be active this entire pregnancy, and to know that this baby girl inside of me that's growing is running like this race with me, and she's allowing me to do so. And I don't know, it was actually really kind of emotional for me that day. I was all over the place, but it was awesome. But anyway, so long story short, the 10K was awesome. Highly recommend, an amazing experience, and it was awesome having my husband at the finish line cheering me on, and every few miles he was cheering me on too, which was really, it was just awesome. So overall, it was kind of a crazy morning, running on like very little sleep, and I didn't even know if I was gonna run it. And I'm so glad that my husband kind of pushed me through to stick with it, because I'm so glad that I did. I'm so thankful. So that's it. That's my 10K race story. A little bit more dramatic, I'm sure, than you were probably expecting. That's it for today's video. If you liked the video, give it a big ol' thumbs up. Comment anything down below that you would like to see on my next video, or just any commentary that you have on this current video. But anyways, thanks so much for watching and following my journey, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It's really exciting seeing more subscribers, getting more subscribers with every video that I post. Kind of helps keep me pushing along with making these videos, like sitting down and making all these videos, as I just continue vlogging my life. So thank you so much, you guys, for all the support and the love that I've gotten thus far, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.